Hey everybody, it's your boy, your guy, your man, it's Daunter. Back at it with another video of the How to Collect in 2025 series. Now, I think that there's a lot of stuff that is still available for collection's sake. In the last video we talked a little bit about Black Bolt, White Flare, and, I think I'm going to do two sections of this video. So the first section, we're going to be talking about some important news for the Pokemon TCG. Second, section is going to be talking about those interesting, cheaper, under $5 cards. So if you're interested in that kind of content, if you're interested in seeing some Pokemon news as it comes out with me, as well as some cheap cards that are beautiful, as I focus mainly on artworks, then I hope you guys are willing to join along on my journey. I'm Daunter, trying to get to 700 subscribers, and yeah. Let's see here. So firstly, for Pokemon news, we've got the announcement of the Mega Evolution era of the Pokemon TCG. If you guys saw my last video, I talked about the best sets of the Scarlet and Violet era, ranking them, and I got a little bit heated in that video because there are a lot of good sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. But in this new era, we're going to be looking at the Mega Evolution era, which is going to feature mainly Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir, which is fantastic. So we have the images of the Mega Lucario right here. It looks very decent, and the Mega Gardevoir, which also looks very decent. I will also say there's a Mega Venusaur, which is right here, and a Mega Latios, which is right here. Now, these cards look pretty alright. I think, personally, they're missing a little bit of that flair that made them so special in the X and Y era. They're missing that Japanese text, and they're not quite as punchy, just because the old, the colors, the old school EXs just had stronger effects. That doesn't mean these cards are bad though. And what is a news update without some even more news? So we got as well one of the art rares, which is going to be the Bulbasaur by Mashu. Many people are leading to believe that this is going to be a connecting illustration between Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur, which would be pretty dope. I would think that would be really cool. But we also have a Vulpix by Sayano Misaki. A very cute, very cozy vibe. I love the heavy emphasis on pottery and not pottery. What's it called? Equipment, pots and pans and stuff. Which is very cool. And we have Inteleon by Ligton. This card is great. I really love the colors. I love the effects. I think it's probably going to be one of the cheaper cards in the set, which is good because I'm happy. I'm more than happy to buy a cheap card, And Inteleon's a pretty cool starter Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be super expensive. So yeah, that's the news about that. The set comes out in August 1st in Japan, and then apparently it comes out around September for the US, so if you're excited for that, you're looking forward to that, then good, you'll have something to look forward to. Now moving on to the second segment, which is going to be talking about those cards under $5 that I was looking at here. So looking at some updates from Black Bolt and White Flare, not quite updates, but just looking at some other cards that I didn't talk about last video, we have... Alright, and all these prices are going to be taken off of TCG Player on their Japan section. So if you're curious as to where these prices come from, that is where they come from. So first of all, from Black Bolt, it looks like we have the Krokorok art rare, as well as the Sandile art rare. Let's talk about the Krokorok art rare first. Card is cool. It's by Tonji Matsuno. I really love the lens flare effect. I think that the angle is cool. Krokorok itself looks pretty menacing, pretty mean. And this card is sitting around $3.61. So that's a pretty good add to your collection if you like that Pokemon. Same thing with Sandile, as it's from the same evolution line. Card is sitting around the $4.08 range. It's by Fujimoto Gold. And you get the Pokemon kind of hovering a little bit above the sand and looking straight forward into the distance. It's very cute. I like it. I think it's very nice looking. And those are two art rares that I chose from Black Bolt. Now moving on to White Flare, I think there's you still have some pretty decent options because White Flare, I feel like the art rares are a little bit cheaper overall. Let's look at the Sawsbuck though. I don't know if I looked at this one last time. I don't think so. The Sawsbuck sitting around the $4.07 range, illustrated by Yano Keiji. You have a very, very serene kind of vibe. The Pokemon's kind of sleeping. It's very, very calming. And I think it's a very nice rendition of the Pokemon. So yeah, I have nothing to complain about there. And yeah, as every single day passes of White Flare and Black Bolt being released, the cards will get cheaper and cheaper as we go. So we also have a Herdier, illustration rare or art rare or whatever, which is going to be illustrated by Makura Tami. Sorry, I kind of got lost there for a second. The card is cute. I like how the Pokemon is sitting down on the bench. Not the bench, the couch, right? And the kind of heirlooms around the house is very calming. It's a very nice looking... It was just a very nice looking art rare. Sitting around that $3.70 mark, I think this one's a no-brainer. And yeah, I think, like I said, there's going to be more and more cards every single day that drop below that $5 range that I think are totally worthwhile for picking up. And that's the great thing about a set being brand new, is that the cards are just going to keep dropping. Now, let's look at a set like Twilight Masquerade. Why not? Cool. Twilight Masquerade. What are we looking at? This is kind of an older set, so the prices are definitely settled. There's actually a lot of cards near that $5 range. For example, we have the Torkoal sitting at $3.72. This card is very cute. It's by Masa, I believe. And you have the Pokemon sitting inside of a kiln with a trainer kind of like holding some kind of coal right next to it. And it has a bunch of like glazed pottery all around it. Very, very homey card. Very, very nice. And it's just a very like great looking card. These art rares are not like, you know, there's a lot of expensive art rares and people will lead you to believe that every art rare is super expensive right now, but that's not entirely true. You know, you can still get some very nice looking cards of some Pokemon that are very, very cool, right? So yeah, that's one other card that I think is good to look at. Now, let me try to find a vintage card that I think is cool. Let's go EX Deoxys. Well, we also have the we have the Minun from EX Deoxys. I'm sure that you could probably get the Plusle as well, but this card's sitting around $260. It's just an uncommon card, so it's not really super expensive. But it's a very beautiful looking illustration by Hajime Kusujima. The last illustration I chose, the last video, was also by Hajime Kusujima, just by chance. I didn't do it on purpose, but I think it looks very nice. I think it looks very beautiful. I would be happy to own this, definitely. And I think that there's a lot of cool cards in EX Deoxys that do sit around like that $5 range in terms of uncommon and commons that are just like beautiful renditions of the Pokemon that they chose. So good. I have the Minun here. And yeah, that's about it for this episode of how to collect in 2025. I don't know if I should call it like Pokemon News or something. I know there's already a series that a YouTuber has called Pokemon News, so I don't know if that's entirely accurate. But I don't know. I should try to figure out what to call it to make it a little bit more appealing, because, I mean, how to collect in 2025. Maybe, honestly, it's not that bad. Anyways, enough of my rambling. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And yeah, I hope you guys are willing to stick with the Daunter Collects channel, because I have a lot of stuff planned in the future. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited to see more from me. Anyways, I'll see you in the next time.